Hey guys, this is Miss Braun. This is part 2 of the videos for Tuesday. So we're going to start reading The Magic Tree House. We finished off last time and we knew that they were in their submarine, it was leaking, there was a shark, and they started to get out into the ocean. So let's see what they do next. It says Chapter 8, Swim for Your Life. Jack moved his arms slowly. He moved his legs slowly. He gently pushed the water out of the way as he did the breaststroke. Calm, calm, he told himself. Annie swam beside him. They headed for the reef. All was calm. Then Jack saw something out of the corner of his eye. A dark fin was zigzagging through the water. It was heading towards them. Jack wanted to splash. He wanted to yell, but he remembered. I better not tell Annie, he thought. She'll stay calmer if she doesn't know. He began to swim faster, then faster. Annie went faster too. They both swam fast and as calmly as they could. Sometimes Annie went even faster than Jack, which made him swim faster and faster. Jack was so scared that he wasn't tired at all. He was swimming for his life, and for Annie's life too. He didn't look back to see if the shark was still there. He didn't want to know. He just kept his eyes on the tree house in the distance, and he kept swimming. Jack and Annie swam and swam and swam. It took forever for the tree house to get just a little closer. Jack realized the reef was farther away than he thought. He kept swimming, but his arms and legs felt heavy. Annie was struggling too. Float, she said, float. Jack and Annie turned onto their backs. They floated the way they had learned in swimming class. We'll just rest for a minute, Jack thought. Then we'll keep going. But the more Jack floated, the more tired he felt. Soon he was too tired to even float. He started to sink. Then he felt something. His heart stopped. Something pushed at him in the water. It was slippery and alive. So I'm going to make a prediction here. I think it could either be the shark trying to hurt him, or it could be maybe a dolphin trying to save him. Both of those animals are slippery. Had the hammerhead shark caught up with them? Jack shut his eyes and waited for the worst. He waited and waited. Finally, he opened his eyes. In front of him was a shiny gray head, a dolphin's head. The dolphin pushed Jack with its nose. It made happy clicking sounds. Hooray! Cried Annie. Jack looked over at her. She was clinging to the fin of another dolphin. Her dolphin was moving through the water. Then the two dolphins swam smoothly through the water, pulling Jack and Annie towards the reef. Next time we'll read Ouch. We have 2 chapters left. But before we go on to the learning site, let's answer this question. So get out a piece of paper and a pencil. Okay, so the question I'm going to ask is, Jack and Annie have gone through a lot of obstacles and overcome a lot of obstacles in this story. So I want everyone to write down one obstacle that they've come and overcome. So they just went through an obstacle, but it can be any obstacle from the story that you want to write about. So go ahead and pause the video and answer that question. What obstacle did Jack and Annie overcome in this story? So once you're done answering that question, you can check your work and I'm going to answer it. So the first thing you want to do when you're answering a question is restate it. So if the question was, what was one obstacle that Jack and Annie overcame? I'm going to put one obstacle that Jack and Annie overcame was seeing a shark. There were many other obstacles in here, like the submarine taking on water would be an obstacle, or them going deep down into the ocean in their submarine, or when Jack and Annie saw the octopus. Any of those are obstacles that you could have written about. I'm going to write one obstacle that Jack and Annie overcame was seeing the shark. They saw a shark, but Jack remained calm and just kept swimming. Finally, dolphins saved them both. So that would be what I wrote about their obstacle. But remember, any of the obstacles that happen in the story, you could have written about too. All right, so next we're going to finish our lesson. Remember, today is Tuesday, week 6. All of this was in the first video. So now on your own, make sure that you finished writing about your food web, because that's going to be in our presentation too. If you're doing it with me, I'll submit it here, writing a few sentences about what your animal does in the food web, what it eats, what eats your animals, and what other dangers does it face. So go ahead and finish that writing. And next, we're going to do thinking like a scientist. Today, we continue to look at Florida's marine ecosystems with a stop in Crystal Springs, Florida, which is right by Chester Taylor. Peterson will share important information about manatees and what goes into making his famous YouTube videos. It's a great chance to hear about the planning and revising that goes into making a successful product like your final writing.
In every episode of Breaking Trail, we do our best to bring the audience with us into the wild for a grand adventure. We try to create a seamless encounter between myself, the crew, and the creatures, but in certain instances, depending on location and animal, this can be very difficult to do.
I am literally surrounded by manatees right now. This is so awesome.
Recently, the team and I spent several days filming with manatees in Kings Bay, a series of canals that are peppered with natural springs, which attract these marine mammals each winter. Swimming and playing with these lovable giants seemed like the perfect opportunity to share with everyone exactly what goes into making an episode of Breaking Trail. There are various ways to get yourself up close with manatees, and if you aren't familiar with Crystal River, we definitely suggest booking yourself a tour with one of the many guide services. I personally love River Ventures. Led by Brandy and her team of manatee enthusiasts, they were our first stop when it came to preparing for a swim with the giants.
Alright guys, well this is it. Time to get out of my normal adventure gear and into the wetsuit, which will keep me warm in the water today. I think it's going to be my first adventure without my lucky hat, but that's okay, because today, I'm swimming with the manatees. Alright, be right back. Whew. That is form-fitting. Alright, let's head out to the boat.
With my wetsuit snugly, and I do mean snugly fit, it was time to check in with Breaking Trail director Mark Livens, who would be operating our main underwater camera on this episode.
So Mark, what sort of shots are you hoping to get today?
Good ones? I really want there to be a situation where I can have Coyote near the surface and a manatee approaching him. I'm really going to be opportunistic because you can never predict wildlife. You kind of take what you get and make the best of it. That's what the goal is.
Geared up, we were ready to go. Oftentimes when we are on location, we hire a local guide who knows the best places to encounter the animals we are in search of. When it comes to manatees, there is no better expert than Captain Sean, who's been leading manatee expeditions for over a decade.
But right now we're on our way to Jurassic Springs. The water is crystal clear. It's going to give us the perfect opportunity to get the underwater cameras down in there and up close with these gentle giants.
We saw a couple of manatees, but it wasn't exactly the look and feel that we wanted for the episode. Next, we slowly motored over to the Three Sisters Preserve, a beautiful spring with crystal clear water, but at the time, it was just us and the fish, not a manatee in sight.
Not seeing anything right in this area. We're going to move up the river a little ways and see if we can come across some of these marine giants.
Day 1 was in the books. We got some good shots, but the epic encounter we were looking to have just didn't quite happen. So what do you do with 4 hours of production left and no manatees to film? Well, you experiment. with things that usually don't ever make the final cut of an episode, like this ridiculous intro. I'm Coyote Peterson, and today we're getting in the water with one of the friendliest animals on the planet. That's right, folks. We're swimming with manatees.
That's awesome.
In total, Mark made me do this opening about 10 times. I think in the back of his head, he knew this would never be used in the final episode. But the crew got a kick out of watching me do it over and over and over.
We're swimming with manatees.
All right, so that was the video for Crystal Springs. So let's go over what your homework is before tomorrow. Your homework is to make sure that you read to yourself, what your reading log information is in, practice reading Seal again, finish your food web with your writing about your food web, and then starting and continuing your PowerPoint about your animal. This is going to be due on Thursday, and in class on Thursday, we will all get a chance to share our project. So mine was the octopus, but remember, everybody has their own ocean animal that they're doing. Don't forget, there is a Zoom lesson today, if you can make it, at 3 o'clock. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow in class. Wednesday and Thursday have regular time for Zoom time and for your conferences. If you have any questions, let me know. Bye.